They really showed y'all, didn't they? All the folks that thought this series was over after game one. Did you not learn a thing from the Miami Heat this postseason? They are not your average 8 seed, round after round, series after series. They keep overachieving. And they did it again in game two. Heat scraping out a 111-108 victory to tie the series at a game apiece.
I have to admit, bro, I didn't learn. I thought this series was done. It was over. Like my brother coined the term, put the broom on the mustache, it's a gentleman's sweep. At most, so I thought. You know what I mean? But the way the Miami Heat have been able to turn it around. You want to talk about in-game adjustments, something that Budenholzer knows nothing about. Talk to my man Eric Spo, man. With the adjustments in the starting lineup, adjustments to the entire game plan. The way the Miami Heat was able to handle, I mean, it was a close game. I mean, handle the Denver Nuggets. We haven't seen this all playoffs.
Yeah, it's the team that looked indestructible. It's the star that looked untouchable. But the strategy from Spo was clear from jump. We're going to let Jokic eat, but we're going to cut off all the rest, man. That and some K-Love minutes I've been begging for, and we are knotted at one headed to Miami, bro. The Heat were getting good looks game one. That's not what changed in game two. The only thing that changed was those shots started falling. And just when they needed it, because when the Heat found themselves after being up 10 to down 10, nothing's falling. Jimmy's conserving energy. It looks like the altitude's getting to them. They needed the spark. And who was there to provide it? Duncan Robinson, Max Struss, Gabe Vincent, the same timely casted characters that have over-delivered this entire playoff run.
Yeah, man, you're speaking facts. And I'm going to be real here. To be quite frank, I thought a Nikola Jokic 40 ball and 10 rebounds guaranteed a win. To me, this is what I thought genuinely before this game. Jokic gives you a 25-point triple-double or gives you a 35, 40, and 10 game, they can't lose. Right? I was proved wrong today. I mean, like you said, Jokic ate. Jokic did his thing. He carried the team on his back. Some contributions from Jamal Murray, not what we've come to expect this playoffs, but not a terrible performance. I mean, this is the thing. We saw with Kevin Love coming into the starting lineup, it made a huge difference. Adding some size to that Heat front court, he was able to basically shut Aaron Gordon out for the entire first quarter. The big contrast of that to game one is Aaron Gordon had 12 points in the first quarter in the last game, right? So Kevin Love's impact immediately felt. You're not going to see him putting up 30 and 25 like he used to, right? But the 6 and 10 timely baskets, and what they really needed from him the most was the ability to control the glass, play defense, and bring some of that championship experience, which he did and more, man. So I say all that to say this. If y'all thought those Jokic triple-doubles were empty, they weren't. He doesn't get 10 assists, they don't win the game. So it goes to show you how important one player is to this team on a night-in, night-out basis.
Yeah, and I'm glad you shouted out K-Love, former champion, but he's not fooling anyone. If there's anything that this team needs, if there's anything that K-Love needs, it's some just for men. He's going out there with them grades, letting things fly. He's a senior citizen at this point. So this team is still small. He's playing his 25 minutes a game, but that's about it. He ain't passing that speed limit under Spo's watch. The Heat have conceded the height advantage. They ain't getting any taller. But what they are going to do is shoot y'all out your gym and then do it on your own floor. And Hero hasn't even played yet, arguably their best three-point shooter. I loved what they did with Jokic. It wasn't just, we're not going to overhelp, but we're committed to shutting off the water for everyone else. There were several Jokic on Gabe Vincent, huge mismatch possessions where Jokic is at the rim. They're still not doubling. They had their game plan and they stuck to it. They mixed in their zone that turned from a 2-3 to a 1-3. I don't know how to keep up with that thing, but they made him play a scorer's game. And as we know, and as you mentioned on the second part of this podcast, it's not necessarily what Jokic likes to do. If he had it his way, it wouldn't be 40-point nights. It'd be the 25-10, 25-20 maybe, and 10 type triple-doubles. And one of the challenges of running an offense through a big, right, because it works. He's the almost back-to-back MVP. But doing that in today's NBA, you need time. Time to get him to his spot, low block, high block. Time to get him the ball, entry pass. And then once he catches it, time to figure out where the double might be coming from, because he's catching it with his back to the basket, with his back to the action. So in the pace and space league that's why you see, right, we're down 3, 10 seconds left. We're not going to give our ball to the two-time MVP. We're giving it to Jamal Murray because it's going to take too long for us to get a good shot. It's the only flaw in the big man in today's game.
100%. And I think the Miami Heat have executed. they've executed their game plan to perfection, and they took advantage of the little flaw. I mean, maybe the only flaw in Jokic's game, which is one thing he has no control over, right, is what a big man can and can't do on the floor. And Ashley's just going to take certain things at certain time for a big man to get to his spots on the floor. And at the end of the day, you're not going to go to a 7-footer for a 3-point last second shot. You want to go to your shooter, someone who's a very consistent and high-level 3-point shooter. I mean, that's the thing. Jamal Murray got a good enough look. And I said handled earlier, I almost want to take that back, right? Because this is one of the best games I've seen in a really long time. I mean, shades of the 2016 series, right? I mean, the team starts down like the Denver Nuggets, down over 10. They come back. Miami Heat find themselves down more than 10. Fourth quarter, with like 3 or 4 minutes left, they're up by 10 or 11, maybe a little less, right? The Nuggets find a way to bring it down to a last-second shot. It legit, like, this was one of the best, one of the closest games I've seen in a long time. And it speaks to not only how good the Denver Nuggets are, which is something that we knew, but how good an 8 seed with second-rounder Jimmy Butler, a bunch of second-round undrafted players can be. And listen, at the end of the day, the Miami Heat have already won. They don't win another game, I think they can go home to South Beach proud.
Yeah, but they ain't settling for it. We know that. If there's one thing this team's going to be ready for, is to play. Keep it locked. Part 2 of the podcast coming up. Game 1 reactions and more. It's The Plug. What's up, y'all? Back again. It's Tyler here with my brother, my dog, my co-host, Ross, for another edition of the Hoop Plug. How you feeling, my brother?
You already know, bruh. It's another episode of the Hoop Plug, so I'm feeling great, man. And what a special way to kick it off, man. It's a special time of the year. The most competitive, most intense time of the year. It's the NBA Finals, man. And what a way it started off in the Mile High City earlier this week.
Yeah, man. We watched game 1. We know what happened. And as much as I want to stick out my chest right now and say with confidence Denver will sweep this series, I can't. Because if there's one thing I've learned this postseason, is that John Morant is not fine in the West. And the other thing is that you can't count Miami out. The Nuggets truly are as good as everyone is making them out to be. Jokic, the current best player on the planet. Jamal Murray, the one star that complements his game just perfectly. But they still have one weakness. And it's been there for years. And it's in the paint. You're going to have to help me understand this, bro. For some reason, the Heat appeared uninterested in driving the basketball. Y'all heard the stat, only 2 free throws in game 1, a finals low. Maybe it was fatigue. I know they're playing 7 games every series, it feels like. But I'm not understanding why they didn't try to take the ball to the rim against Denver.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is the thing, right? We know that this team can shoot the 3. They have designated shooters, but with guys like Tyler Hero out who's doing a bulk of the 3-point shooting, this is a team that's going to have to rely on its bread and butter. Its bread and butter is getting to the basket. Pick and roll, Adebayo being a part of that, Jimmy Butler being a part of that, just getting to the cup, getting to the foul line. You said it, and you said it well. The Miami Heat shot 2 free throws. That's right, a whopping 2 free throws. They were 100% from the line, but 2 free throws is not going to make enough of a difference to change this game, especially against a team like the Nuggets that at this point right now seems like they're better than them. You know, the Nuggets, we know that their style of pace is not necessarily the fastest style of pace, right? But it's very effective. You got to go and match them, right? Miami can really match any team that it plays. And like you said, it all starts in the paint. They shot 40% from the field. I want to get into some other things after I let you respond. But overall, as a team, they did not bring that energy. I mean, besides the late push in the 4th, pretty decent overall performance from Bam Adebayo. The Miami Heat left a lot to be desired.
Yeah, bro. Jimmy, that's his game. Getting to the free throw line, knife into the basket. He's not a jump shooter. I know he has been these postseason, but that's not what got him here. And Bam has been well. I thought coming into this series, okay, they're going to need him to look like KG. They're going to have conversations coming out of this series if Bam is a top 5 center, if the Heat want to have a chance. Well, he delivered, but the rest of the team was nowhere to be found. And the weird part, they were getting good looks. That's why I brought up the fatigue, because it looked like a team tired. Max Struss leaving jumpers short. He's hit all season, especially against my Knicks. Gabe Vincent was making his, but Duncan Robinson, none of the others could really get going. And that included Jimmy Butler.
You segued it perfectly, right? The almost finals MVP, the almost Larry Bird's finals MVP of the Eastern Conference, Caleb Martin, was nowhere to be found, right? Yeah. And Gabe Vincent's undrafted backcourt partner, Max Struss, was right there with him. They must have been somewhere in the stands because they weren't on the court playing. I mean, they went for a collective 1 for 17, I believe it was. It might have been 1 for 19. I don't want to make it incorrect, but the point is they shot terribly, right? Combined 3 points between the two of them, and that's the thing. Even if Jimmy Butler had a 30 ball, It's going to be really hard when two of your starters who you've relied on in this playoff so far don't come out and perform, you know?
Yeah, well said, bro. And Eric Spoelstra is definitely going to make some changes. They need to be if they want to get back in this series. One thing I'm going to look for him to do is Cody Zeller, we tried you. We saw what happened. Jokic put that stiff arm in his chest, sent you to the 10th row. He's out of here. Don't put him back in the game, coach. I want to see Kevin Love get some minutes. He was good against my Knicks. He was getting DMPs down the stretch against the Celtics, but he can be a factor. He does a lot of actually Jokic stuff. Great passer as a big, phenomenal rebounder, not what he once was. I'm not kidding anyone in saying that, but he has to get involved. Jimmy has to be Jimmy or Himmy, but they can do it. The road to even up this series is in the paint.
You said it perfectly, man. Himmy has not been him as of late. I mean, that's unfair to say. I mean, he did his thing in the final game of the series. You know, he got him to this point.
And he's out there on a bum ankle, I will say.
You know what I mean? But with that being said, you know, and I just want to confirm earlier, guys, it was 1 for 17 from the field between the two undrafted starters, right? So of the 3 undrafted starters, that's crazy. You keep going down the list. I assume Caleb was drafted, but Caleb was undrafted, unlike his brother Cody. So I say all that to say this: we sometimes, when you see terrible performances from guys you expect more from, you can forget about from Jimmy Butler, he was not good. You know what I mean? You said it. He was 6 for 14 from the field. We expect a lot more from him. Did not get to the free throw line, did not get to the paint. Barring Bam Adebayo, like I said earlier, man, this team left a lot to desire. Kevin Love, I'm glad that you brought him up, man, because Kevin Love, he has no business playing against the Celtics, right? But it depends on the team that he's playing against. I mean, the Knicks, it made sense, right? Depending on the play style that they have, right? Celtics, not so much. I think you're right. I think it makes sense to play Kevin Love 15, 20 minutes, maybe more if he's able to contribute more in the minutes that you've given him so far. It's going to be important. This guy is a champion. You know, he was an automatic double-double in his early days in Minnesota. Kevin Love has a lot to give. He spreads the floor. I'm not going to tell you he's the answer for Jokic because there's no answer for Jokic right now. You know what I'm saying? But I think he'd be able to play quality defense and spread the floor enough against Jokic in a man-to-man matchup where his minutes would be impactful. All right? Again, I'm not saying he's the chosen one, but that would give, I think, Jimmy and Bam enough help, you know, to squeeze a game. I'm not going to say they're going to win this series. I'm glad I went on that sentimental point to say they might win a game. Because I honestly, dude, the Nuggets are just in a different class, man. They've showed it all playoffs, you know, and they're showing it here right now in the finals.
Yeah, for sure. They're the better team. They're the more talented team. And they're pretty damn good coached. All right. I still think Spo is the best coach in the league. I said that in the last short that we just put out. But before this series, there was a lot made of the zone that the Miami Heat play, that hybrid press zone where they're pressing you till your guards get up the court past half and then they drop back into the zone. And I thought it was going to be an interesting look against Denver. In game one, it didn't really work. It wasn't awful, but it wasn't great either. In theory, it should be taking away the Jokic-Murray pick and roll, right? You got more defenders in and involved around the action. It should limit Nikola bringing up the ball, but the Nuggets had 9 days to prepare for it. And Jokic is such a good passer. They got so many good cutters. Aaron Gordon's backslashing. He's finding mismatches. It's just kind of hard for that to work. We can think of ways that they can fix this on offense, being Miami. But defensively, you just alluded to it with Jokic being the beast that he is. I can't envision a scenario where they're able to hold this team under 100 points.
Yeah, I don't see it happening, especially when you can expect a 27, 14, and 10 performance, some sort of wild triple-double from the Joker, man. He's out here, and he's joking on fools, man. He's out there really having fun. The passing, the scoring, his ability to control the glass. 14 assists from a big man like that. I remember when Joakim Noah averaged 4 or 5 assists, and they're talking about one of the greatest passing centers of all time. This guy basically puts up 10 assists a night.
He had 6 in the first 8 minutes. It was the first time out. Aaron Gordon had like 9. Jokic had 6 assists.
Dude,
it's crazy.
Jokic be outperforming most starting centers in the league in the first half.
Yeah, and look at who he did it against. Timberwolves first round, Rudy Gobert, Karl Towns. Lakers defense, we're going to skip over Phoenix and DeAndre Ayton. But Lakers, Anthony Davis, come on, bro. And now he's doing it to Bam Adebayo, running for Defensive Player of the Year. This is the almost back-to-back MVP. Back-to-back-to-back MVP. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And it's the same roster as the last 4 seasons, yet they're making it out the West for the first time. Why is that not adding up? I think it's because of that rim protection I alluded to earlier. This offense has just been so good this year, it's covered it up. Jokic is amazing at a lot of things, but not at that, on defense under the rim. They're playing him in a heavy drop coverage, and they're just allowing him to camp out. They're giving up the threes. We saw Kyle Lowry get hot and make a couple to pull this game kind of respectable range, get it within 9 at the end of that third quarter. But for Miami, game 2, can you attack him in that drop? Can you make him defend? You know, he's going to pick up an offensive foul. He always does, whether he's driving the ball or trying to go for a rebound. Can you get him on 2 others in the first half? Can you get him out of the game early? Because their on and off splits are like LeBron Cavaliers-esque, where they're just like a 20-point per game worse team when he's off the floor. Like they just blow leads at a rapid pace. But it's just not happening that much right now.
I think the key factor to what we're seeing from the Denver Nuggets is, I mean, it's obviously Jokic is in his prime, and the guy could get better. You know what I'm saying? We thought it was impossible. He shows that he could get better. Who knew it? But with that being said, you know, injuries have always been an issue for this Denver team in the last 3 or 4 years. And this is the first time we've had Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, Michael Porter Jr. since MPJ has been drafted and Jamal Murray has been drafted, right? Be on the floor for extended periods of time like this without any injuries happening to either one. And it shows. We knew what Michael Porter Jr. was going to do when he came into the league. You know, we had high expectations for him, even though he did have an injury coming into the NBA, right? Jamal Murray, he blew all expectations out the water. The guy is a bona fide all-star in this league. We want to talk about blowing expectations out the water. Nikola Jokic, most famous for being drafted during a Taco Bell commercial. You know what I mean? He didn't even get his name called. It was just a little blip in the corner of the screen, you know? From that to a back-to-back and almost 3-time back-to-back-to-back MVP. So you get all of these guys together, like you mentioned. I mean, absolute elite coaching. Mike Malone, one of the top coaches in the NBA. And they're finally able to get it all together. I mean, this is the thing. Aaron Gordon has been a big help to them. I mean, Jamal Murray is finally, you know, he's back. He's holding his own. But, I mean, any offense helps. Aaron Gordon has made a difference. KCP, he holds his own. I mean, he's a role player, you know. But I think, and I've mentioned it before, Bruce Brown was huge for this team. He's off the bench. He's giving them quality minutes. He's able to put the ball in the basket, and he's able to play more than solid defense. This Nuggets team is good, and when they're rolling, they are scary, as the Miami Heat found out last night, right? So, can the Heat turn this series around? I don't know.
You don't know. You're leaning, though. I could tell that much. Look, man, it wasn't just the expectations that especially this duo, Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, were blowing up. They were blowing up teams and franchises in the Western Conference, too. Let's think about it. You mentioned it the last time they were healthy. It looked like Mickey Mouse ears down in the bubble, Florida, 2020. And who did they knock off? The Los Angeles Clippers. The Paul George, Kawhi Leonard were all healthy for the only time. Los Angeles Clippers. They were looking good. They were better than the Lakers that year, who ended up winning the chip. Then we take the 6 months off. Then we reconvene. And out of nowhere, this Denver Nuggets team, led by Jamal Murray catching absolute fire, Nikola Jokic just doing a little bit of everything, even though we didn't look at it in the same frame we do now. We were like, oh, okay, 20 and 20. Nice. Now, that thing's coming with 10 assists, and we looking at it like, wow. But that team had it then. Jamal Murray gets injured in the bubble, and they get knocked off by the Lakers. But really, as you mentioned, every time they've been healthy, they've looked like this team. They just haven't had the chance to do it this time of the season. It's all lining up, bro.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, dude, I don't think that this is a series that the Miami Heat can win. I think that we all know that at this point, it's just, you know, finishing out what they got to finish out. I think the Miami Heat, they're not going to give up. They've got Spo. It's only game 1. The series is early. You know,
you don't think Pat got something for you? You don't think Pat got something up the sleeve?
By the way, now that you mentioned Pat Riley, we got to shout out this man. Ty dropped a gem on me the other day. He said this guy, Pat Riley, has been a part of 25% of all NBA finals. Again, as a player, coach, GM, right? So as all his roles in the league, this man has been a part of 25% of NBA finals. That's something you just got to tip your hat off to, right?
Yeah, and we're not talking about when he came in the league. We're talking about the league's entire history. That's insane.
That's saying something. I mean, we just celebrated the 75th anniversary of the NBA. So just putting all of that into perspective, man. But with that being said, man, Dan don't answer to the Joker. Dan don't answer to Jamal Murray when the Joker's clicking off the way he is. You know what I mean?
Not any good ones.
Nah, not any good ones. And barring from, I mean, I can't even say what I was about to say, man. But barring from employing a bad boys Piston style of defense, which is illegal in today's NBA, I don't even know if that would work.
Yeah, the
Jokic is
Jokic
tough,
brothers
man.
will pop out the stands and even that thing up.
They would handle it.
There is no good answer. You know, I feel like you would need just some sort of X factor, Dennis Rodman, Draymond Green persona to just really turn this from a basketball game into a street fight. That would be the only chance I see.
Honestly, you're speaking facts, bro. This is what they really need to do, man. They need to tell the Lakers to waive Tristan. Like, all right, we need to sign him now. Now I'm playing. But, hey, watch out. Tristan
we need 2
Thompson.
flagrants and 4 personals. That's what we need from you.
I didn't even really get started. I was about to segue off on Tristan Thompson real quick. He played pretty good defense against Jokic in that game that he played. Like, actually, matter of fact, surprisingly good defense. Again, you're not going to stop a guy like that. But he made him work. You know what I mean? And that's all you can ask from when you're guarding an all-time player like that in the NBA. But what the Heat really need to do is they need to be like, listen, UD, you know, we need you to get them steroid shots in the knees. You know what I'm saying? We need them gritty elbows, that old school old man style of play. Jokic ain't too fast, and we need 40 from you.
Yeah,
Next
he's better than Cody
Adebayo,
Zeller.
That's for damn sure. That's for damn sure. UD's going to be like, all right, I haven't worn these kicks since Game 6 of the 2006 NBA Finals.
Yeah.
You know, he could dust them off. Nah, but I don't know if there's really a good answer.
There isn't, but I'm going to leave you with this. The Miami Heat have been doubted this whole postseason. Jimmy Butler in a back-against-the-wall scenario. The bright mind of Eric Spoelstra. Under the tutelage of Pat Riley. Don't get it twisted. He's up right now. He's up till 2 a.m. on a conference call with Spo talking about how we can fix this. They going to have something for Denver. This ain't over yet. And I'm not saying it won't be a sweep. I'm not saying they won't put a mustache on the broom and do it in 5. But I expect these games to be competitive, more competitive than they were in Game 1.
Did you come up with that? Did you hear that somewhere? The
mustache on the broom? Yeah, I came up with that. I said that on the Knicks when the Knicks beat the Cavs.
You got to trademark that. And I want the plug fans to hear. That's fire. Yeah, man. Put the mustache on the broom.
Yes, sir.
Now, again, sorry for getting sidetracked again, but nonetheless, man, like, I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's going to be hard for this Heat team to come back. Like you said, we can't just expect a team with him, Michael Jordan's son, Eric Spoelstra, Pat Riley, cats of them natures to just take this sitting down. You know, we expect them to put up a fight, but let's see. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what's going to happen.
Let's see. And while y'all waiting to see on Game 2, make sure y'all taking the steps you can right now. Use EvanAlexanderGrooming.com. Save the hairline before it's too late, y'all. EvanAlexanderGrooming.com.
As you guys saw, your boy Faraz had a frown on his face. If only I'd found EvanAlexanderGrooming.com 2 or 3 years ago. But for you guys, it's not too late. You already know the vibes, man. Go to EvanAlexanderGrooming.com to get everything you need for your hair care, skin care, beard care, and more. Don't forget to put promo code HOOP_plug_ at checkout for 15% off. Supporting them, supporting us, supporting you to have a fresh lineup. You know? With that being said, Ty, you got any closing thoughts, any closing remarks?
No.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it. Another episode of the Hoop Plug in the books. Put some flavor in your ear.
Peace.
Peace.